Welcome to something a little different this time. Um, I've been, if you've been following me at all, or you've been kind of keeping up with things that I'm doing, you guys know that I've been getting into 3D modeling quite a bit. Um, and when I first started getting into 3D modeling, it was really cool, and I watched a lot of tutorials and a lot of videos off of um like Blender Guru and stuff like that. And he helped me get a photorealistic kind of outlook on things. Um I'm sure if I edit this video like I'm planning on doing it, there's gonna be a picture that shows up right now where you guys can kind of get an idea. Um it's the kitchen that I made. I made a photorealistic looking kitchen, and it was really, really good. And here itself is the actual kitchen. You know, if I would go to render this, like, it turns out really, really, really nice. But I was taught in a way that a lot of people have now told me it works. Let me get rid of some of this non-needed stuff here. It works, but there's an issue. So, if you're like me, you were taught that you need to have subsurf modifiers to help really smooth stuff out and make it look nice and just nice and smooth, right? You wanted that subsurf because without it, it looks really blocky and it just does not look right. And, that's what the flowers look like without that subsurf. Well, something that I wasn't informed of because I want to make props and, I want to be able to do stuff like make animated shorts and stuff like that. Um, is that down here, this little number right here, this tris number, is very important. And I didn't realize how important it was until I started talking to a game developer. Big shout out to him. I've played a lot of his indie games. I'll leave a link to his YouTube and his Twitch below, and maybe some of his games. DarkStoneDigital, he's been helping me a lot in regards to learning how to make that smooth effect. See, taking forever. I undid so we could have subsurf. Give that smooth effect that we're looking for without compromising the tris. As you can see, it went up almost, actually over 2 mil tris. If we're at 10,899,230. Yeah, whatever. We'll see. How much tris does this have? If we apply, okay, hold on. If we apply, this vase of flowers has 2.1 million tris. So now, that is where I was taught how to change that. Because you want to have the least amount of tris as you potentially can in order to make things run smoothly. Like if I would try to make this into an animation of any kind, um it would just run horribly. I would never be able to actually preview my animation. And the one thing that I learned, and it's not going to work here, I'll go back onto the lab and show you guys how I do it. But one thing that I learned, I just did it, was the shade smooth. You just have it highlighted, right click it, and shade smooth. And then you come over to right here, the context, object data, come into normals, and then you auto smooth. And like I said, it's not going to work here because, there's points on this that really need to be reworked. Like I would need to take this and size it down a little bit. Or if I didn't want to do that, I could take this and maybe size this up. Just to give it a little bit more of a bulky look to it. And then I would need to take these the tops of these, and I would need to take them down. You know, there's just so much that I would need to do to it to give that same look. But as you can see, I mean, there's still a little bit here, like the little bit of a crease. With just putting in 2 loop cuts, we're at 4,218 tris just off of this. I could make it so much smaller, and you'll see that whenever I go back to the lab. Um, and it's a lot better, and it still gives that same look. Again, here's the picture of the kitchen when it was finished, and the style of the kitchen that I had, and then here's another picture. Granted, I took out the flowers and I took out the fruit, but this is the same kitchen. One had 10.8 million tris, and the other one had 15,400 tris. And that's with a little bit more details on the sink and readjustments of quite a few other things. Coming back to the lab here, as you can see, this is the lab that I originally, the animation that I had originally had. And I'll leave a link to that in the description below. This is the lab that I was making. You know, we'll go to Eevee just for recording's sake. And it's for my solo project that I'm working on. And when I originally created this lab, I was sitting at around, I want to say, 7 to 8 million tris. Now I'm sitting at roughly about 6,300 tris for this whole lab. Now, granted, that might seem like a lot still. Looking at the lights, you can see that there's no real large amounts of poly. Like, if I would make another light, for example, let's see, UV sphere, size it down a little bit, right? And I wanted it to have that same effect. Size it down. Go. I know I'm doing this quickly, and I apologize. I'm just kind of trying to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Oh, come on, give me that one little point there. And then you just extrude this downwards. Right, and so roughly a light bulb, but you know, when you're not in edit mode, it looks kind of crappy. This is a shaded smooth light bulb. This is now going to be a subsurf. Which, as you can see, obviously, you know, my 5-second light bulb is kind of not up to par with some of the, with like these light bulbs here, but overall they both look roughly the same. You come out here to where the camera is, and you can't tell that this has a little bit more polygonal stuff, whereas the new light bulb, if I apply this, has a tris of 270,000. The original light bulb has a tris of 240, and that's just the magic of making. We'll do a 16 cut and 16 segment, bring it this way. That's just the magic of using the shade smooth modifier. Again, this is just a quick light bulb here. Nowhere near what it probably should be. Obviously, that's not the same as that one over there. I spent more time, but if I just shade smooth and then I auto smooth the normals, as you can see, the light bulb looks roughly the same. If I would take it back, you know, it looks roughly the same. Obviously, not the bottom or anything like that, but if I would just go boop, it has that same feel to it. And I so far have not needed to change the angle whatsoever whenever shading smooth. So keeping it at a 30-degree angle is all you really need. So I hope that helps. I have a plan for like some other little helpful things that I've learned along the way. But let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything else that I could do in regards to, you know, maybe simplifying some stuff for you if you want to do animation stuff. And I will see, make sure you like this video, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see all of you guys next time. Bye, guys!